The advent of the automobile was perhaps the most important event that shaped the 1920s. Automobiles had been around years before, but due to one man the car craze began. This man, Henry Ford, was a genius. Taking his ideas, he would soon grow into the largest automobile corporation owner and one of the richest men in the world. The car would become America's invention. Although the automobile was a major improvement over a horse, the early models had many problems. Many early car owners would bring 1, 2, or even 3 spare tires in case one popped, which many did. As this video shows, these cars were durable, or at least the car companies presented them that way. Seeing a stranded motorist stuck in 2 feet of mud during the 1920s would have been commonplace. Ironically, horses had to pull the stuck cars out. Without roads, cars were confined to use paths usually intended for horses, which didn't have the problem of tires. Once the automobile became popular, people noticed these problems and began building America's first true roads. The first roads were usually made out of planks, which had to be layered one plank at a time. This process, both tedious and expensive, wouldn't be perfected until years later. During the 20s, the most money spent by the US government was building roads, which turned out to be fundamental in the creation of the highway system instituted years later. The art of creating an automobile, on the other hand, had been perfected by Henry Ford even at the beginning. Using one person to build a Model T would take 14 hours. Henry Ford instituted his own and greatest invention, the assembly line. What had taken 14 hours now took 93 minutes. By 1927, a Model T was rolling off the line every 10 seconds. The effects of the automobile are all around us. Gas stations, motels, and drive-ins are due to automobiles. A simple idea proved to be one of the greatest in human history. What we take for granted today was probably a big deal in the 20s. Power steering, power brakes, and the automatic transmission would have been almost magic during the 20s. Perfecting the art of shifting was what set the men apart from the boys. Even during my dad's childhood, his dad would say, "Grind me a pound," when someone couldn't complete a shift smoothly. Safety features of cars would only come when the US government instituted laws requiring seatbelts and eventually airbags. Modern cars feature mirrors and lights, which during the 20s were a luxury. Imagine trying to navigate a horse path during the dead of the night. This almost impossible task would help create the modern light bulb and knowledge of electricity and refraction of light. Car models during the 20s were bulky and usually dark-colored. As some people would say, they looked like ugly monsters, while supporters affectionately called the Model T the Tin Lizzie. Manufacturing of automobiles was started near Detroit, where they are still made today. Henry Ford hired the majority of applicants and created one of the 20s largest corporations. The automobile industry helped create modern labor unions and strengthen the economy. The U.S. economy is now the largest exporter of automobiles due directly to the immediate success of them during the 1920s. By 1928, 2/3 of Americans had a car. Automobiles have been in mass production for less than 100 years. I wonder what's next.